Okay, so we are going to study percents and proportions. First thing I'm going to do is show you why you even need to have this kind of stuff. You got a tower, it's 160 feet tall, it casts a shadow 34 feet long, a person standing next to it, and blah, 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 blah. What are they even saying? So, you've got a tower. Apparently, it's the Eiffel Tower. It casts a shadow. This is the shadow over here. See the sun? Now it looks like an egg. So it's beating down, it casts a shadow of the tower. A person standing next to the tower casts a shadow that's 1.5 feet long, which equation will find the height of the person. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the height over the shadow. Okay? So the height of the person, boop, over the height of the length of their shadow is equal to the height of the tower over the length of the shadow. So it's going to be x over 1.5 equals 160 over 34. Okay, now that doesn't match any of those, does it? So I'm not really sure where they're going with that one, but I just wanted to show you why you should have it. Oh, then you're going to cross multiply and you would solve it, and we're just going to move on from there. So this is the same type of a thing. How would you find these proportions? Now these problems I'm showing you because they could be on your I-step, and we just want to get you familiar with what's going on. So what you have is the height of the triangle over the length. Oh wait, they've got writing on here. Let's see what they come up with. So it is the height of the triangle over the length of the triangle. So 50 is the height of the triangle, 75 is the length. Then you match it up with its little friend. See how you have a big triangle here? Then you have a little teeny triangle here. So we're going to match up height with height and length with length. We'll talk about how to solve it in a minute. When are we ever going to use this? We're going to use it if you are making recipes, and this is what we're going to actually look at when we're doing story problems. If I use 12 eggs to make 3 cakes, how many eggs would I need to make 42 cakes? Why you would need 42 cakes? I don't know. So again, we're going to do eggs over number of cakes. So 12 eggs makes 3 cakes, 3 cakes. Your first sentence is always going to give you your first proportion, or first ratio. Then we've got how many eggs, don't know, would I need to make, I can't find my color, 42 cakes. So it's eggs from the first sentence, cakes from the first sentence, eggs from the second sentence, cake from the second sentence. If I earn $2,300 to buy, I don't think that two is supposed to be there, by selling 5 computers. So that's going to be where you get your first ratio. How much would I need to sell? How much would I earn if I sell that many computers? So we have money over computers, and it matches up. We're going to deal with these story problems a little later on, but that's why we need this. So this should not be anything new to you guys, because we have been solving proportions all along. Remember that word proportions? We did, oh my gosh, it's late at night. What's that game called? Wheel of Fortune. And I said you guys were terrible at it because I started writing out the words. You couldn't get it. Proportions are 2 fractions. It's just a fraction equal to a fraction. They're actually called ratios in this case. We are going to cross multiply. We're going to multiply 5 times x. Oh my gosh, Mrs. Evans, we've already done this. Piece of cake, can of corn, equals 3 times 35, 105. We know how to solve that. We divide by 5, and we get x equals 21. Okay, next one. Once again, we're going to cross multiply. 1 times 11 is 11, and that equals y times 2, 2y. We've got a multiplication equation. We're going to solve it by division. We're going to divide by 2. We get a little freaked out. You could put 5.5 equals y. I'm fine with that. Okay, we're going to keep on going. Just keep on keeping on. So here we've got b times 4. That's 4b. It's equal to 7 times 1, which is 7. multiplication equation. We solve it by dividing by 4, and we get b equals 7/4. Same thing. Okay, this one's a little rougher because when we take 2 times x minus 6, we have to write it as 2 times x minus 6. So right here, you're going to write this down. When multiplying, with a plus sign, use parentheses. Okay, and that's going to equal 3 times 8, which is 24. Now you have to distribute. That's 2x minus 12 equals 24. Once you've done the cross multiplication, you've got a regular old equation that you know how to solve. So we're going to do plus 12, cancel, cancel. 2x equals 36. It's multiplication, so we're going to divide by 2. I ran out of room. X is equal to 18. Ooh, I like that gold on top of the blue. Yes, go gold and blue. Gold and blue, who's that? Gold and blue, is that Notre Dame? I don't know. Go, go, go. Okay, so we're going to do number 5. Number 6 is going to be checkpoint 1. So number 5, I'm going to multiply 5 times negative 3. I'm going to write that out just so you know where I got it. I'm going to multiply 6 times, there's a minus sign. We just wrote down when you have a plus sign, plus and minus signs mean the same thing. You're going to use parentheses. So now I'm going to distribute. So I have 6b, and 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. I'm going to add 12. So I get negative 3 equals 6b. At this point, I want you to do number 6 for checkpoint 1. So this is going to be called checkpoint 1. Put it in your notebook, pause the video, do the problem. We'll go over it in class. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing, right? We're going to cross multiply. So if you didn't know how to do checkpoint 1, you might kind of come back and look at it after this slide. 3, whoop, 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 there's a plus sign, so I'm going to use parentheses, and that's going to equal, whoop, 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 there's another plus sign, so I'm going to use parentheses. So I've got distributive property over here, so it's 3b, 3 times 10 is 30. Got distributive property over here, 6b, 6 times 7 is 42. Remember, when I have variables on both sides, I'm going to take the variable from the right over to the left. That's just the way I do it. So I have negative 3b plus 30 equals 42. I'm going to subtract the 30. Remember, if you have a plus or a minus, you have to use plus or minus to solve it. Kind of out of room, I'm going to put a really little divided by negative 3, divided by negative 3, and I get b equals negative 4. Maybe I should write smaller at the beginning, huh? All right, so let's look at number 8. We're going to cross multiply. So it's going to be 10 times k minus 2. Look at me writing smaller. And that's going to equal 4 times k plus 10. I'm going to stop here, and you're going to finish this as checkpoint 2. So this is going to be checkpoint 2. It's going to be in a box. You're going to cross multiply. You're going to write the problem. I've got it started for you. You just have to finish solving it. Hint, hint. Look at number 7. Okay, then I told you we would get back to story problems. These story problems will be on your test, so you want to make sure that you understand how to solve them. So I want you to write this right here. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. It doesn't get a biggie wow star, but it can have an asterisk there, okay? That's what we're going to be thinking of. We're going to be looking for a percent. We're going to put percents over 100, and that's because percent means out of 100. Then 100 is the whole thing. If you get 100 on the test, you got the whole test right. So we're going to find the other thing they're talking about. What amount of it is all of it, everything. So that's everything that's we're talking about versus what amount is specific, a specific part. So here's what we've got. And you're going to like go by the first sentence here. Here's your first sentence. If 12 of the 75 animals are parakeets. So what are the two things I've got? I've got animals and I've got parakeets. Which one's the whole? Which one's everything in the pet store? It would be the animals. That's your whole. What's the part? The specific part we're talking about here is the parakeets. So when we set up our proportion, that was supposed to change to black. Didn't hit that button right, did I? We're going to look for a percent. Well, let's read the rest of the problem. What percent are parakeets? So do we know the percent? Nope, so we're going to put X. We do know 100, so we're going to put 100. Then we're looking for the part. The part goes back to, oh, remember I told you I don't know how to highlight. Dang nabbit, I should probably figure this out. I wonder if one of those, that's a thick pen, that's a medium pen, that's a fine pen, that's an eraser. There is no highlighter. I can't highlight, never mind. Which of these two numbers, the 12 or the 75, represents, why did I put part up here? That was supposed to be parakeet. What a goober. Parakeet. Okay, which represents just the parakeets? 12 of them are parakeets. What's the whole thing we're talking about here? The 75 animals. Then you're just down to cross multiplying. So you take 75x equals 200. When you divide by 75, where did I get 200? 1200. Oh my gosh, people. I'm not even going to tell you what time it is while I'm doing this video. This is crazy that I'm doing this late at night. 1200 divided by 75 is that right? I don't think I pushed the right buttons, guys. 16. So I get x equals 16. Now, look up here. X was parakeets. So 16% are parakeets. Now, if 16% are parakeets, then it says what percent are not. So remember we said the whole thing is 100%? So that's all of them. That's the whole thing. Minus the 16% that are parakeets leaves me with 84% are not parakeets. They're probably puppies and kitties because puppies and kitties are cute. Well, birds are cute too, if you're a bird person. I'm not. All right, so here we go again. Of the fish in an aquarium, 26% are angelfish. So from that sentence, we know the two things we're talking about. The part is the specific thing we're talking about. Which is more specific, fish or angelfish? Angelfish. So angelfish is the smaller portion. That's the specific thing we're talking about. The whole, what's the whole concept we're discussing here? All the fish. So when we set up our proportion for the percent, we're going to look, did they give us a percent? Yep, right there. So that's a really gimme, gimme, gimme. That's 26. 100 always goes on the bottom there. Now I'm looking for angelfish. It says the aquarium contains 50 fish. Is that fish or is that angelfish? That's just all the fish in the aquarium, so that's 50. I want to know how many of them are angelfish, so that's where my X goes. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to multiply 100 times X, and I get 100X, and I'm going to multiply 26 times 50, and I get 1300. Probably should have drawn those little circles for you, huh? That's that one. That's that one. I'm going to divide by 100, and I get X equals 13. Now it's not percent this time because look up here. X was angelfish. So there are 13 angelfish in the tank. Now they want to know how many are not angelfish. So all of the fish, all fish is 50 fish, right? We're going to subtract the 13 angelfish. So we find out that 37 are not angelfish. All right. Carbon constitutes 18.5% of the human body by weight. Boy, that's interesting. Okay, let's pretend we're science. So what do we have here? We've got carbon constitutes 18.5% of the human body by weight. So we're talking about carbon. That's the part, that's the specific part of our body. Our whole body is how much we weigh, but only part of it is our carbon. And then the other thing we're talking about is the weight. So when we set this up, did they give us a percent? Yes. So it always goes in the percent spot, and underneath that we have the 100. Then I'm looking for carbon. So read the next sentence. Determine the amount of carbon contained in a person who weighs 145 pounds. Is the 145 pounds the carbon, or is that what we're looking for? The 145 is the weight of the person, and what we want to know is what percent is carbon. So we're going to, once again, cross multiply. We're going to, oh gosh, I'm glad I had a calculator. Hope you have one at home. If not, you'll just be writing down what I write down, right? 100x equals, then we're going to multiply these two, and that's 2,682.5. We're going to divide by 100. So x is going to equal 26.825. And what does that represent? That represents the amount of carbon. So that's how much carbon, probably pounds of carbon. I don't know. Sure, pounds of carbon. I'm not really a science person. I just know how to do the math. Okay, one season, a football team. Football, yay, go Broncos, BRONCHOS, go, Broncos, go. All right, one football team has 7 losses. This was 43.75% of the total games they played. So what are the things we're talking about? We've got losses and total games played. So losses, I don't know why they didn't talk about the wins, and total games. So we're going to set up our proportion. We're looking for a percent. Is there a percent? Yep. I love it when they give me the percent. I can just put 43.75 over 100. That's a gimme, gimme, gimme. Now, did they tell me how many losses the team had? Yup, they had 7 losses. So that goes up on top with losses. Did they tell me the total number of games the team played? No. So that's my X. When I cross multiply, I get 43.75x equals, and I'm going to multiply these, and I get 700. So I'm going to divide by 43.75, and I find out that they played 16 games. So they lost 7, they played 16, that means they won 9. That's a winning season, yay. Okay, so at this point, what I want you to do is write down the secret word. So the secret word for today is touchdown, okay? I tried to make that video pretty fast because you already know how to solve proportions because we've been doing it every time we have a fraction. We're going to work on story problems in class on Monday. We're going to have fun because this is math. It's fun. Please tell me, well, if you watch this video, yay, thank you. I'm going to put a little thank you over here. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great weekend. Bye.